UFC Las Vegas 106. Michael Morales versus Gilbert Burns just took place. I'm here to give you my card rundown, breakdown, overall results of the card, and my predictions. And listen, alright? We were on a good run, boys, but unfortunately, this dog shit of a card ended up cracking the win streak. It is what it is, you know? We live on the sword, we die by the sword. I'll still be doing my breakdown regardless if I win on my picks or not, okay? I do this purely based off passion for the love of the sport, and during this year, it's become a little hard to love the sport, okay? There's, a lot of things been going on this year, and I'm not liking it, okay, Dana White? Let's get to work, alright? Let's start having, like, some good fucking cards, alright? Yeah, and we're on a week break now, so, yikes, but yeah. With all that being said, let's get into the breakdown of the card. This is the third card, I believe, of the year that I've gotten incorrect, in terms of predictions. I went negative on the card. This is the third one of the year. Alright, normally I do better, so feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Okay, I promise you, I do better, okay, I'll do better next time, guys. I swear. Anyways, moving on. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Anyways, Tisha Pennington versus Luana Pinheiro. If you don't know, I do a tried and true method. I have no fucking passion for this fucking women's fight, for these women's fights. I do the tried and true method. Some people use the pick doctor. Some people use logic and reasoning. I use the coin. Coin did pretty well. I think it went 2-1 this card. Not too bad. Hey, W coin saved me from a rough night out, okay? So, yeah, Tisha Pennington versus Luana Pinheiro. I don't care. It was just a women's decision. Moving on to the actual fights. Park Young-sung versus Carlos Hernandez. I went with Hernandez, okay? I know he's a 50-50 fighter. I think I even said that in my breakdown. Fuck, man. Carlos is good. But this fight, he just got tagged early, got hurt to the body, wasn't really focused on defending the submission threat, and he got subbed, he's good on the ground, but it's like, brother, fuck, man, why couldn't you just reverse position, sucks, man. But, yeah, Park had a really good performance. I think he's a lot better because of this fight. Carlos, he's a 50-50 fighter, I get it, but I was like, this is his time to get a clean record before we go back to being a 50-50 fighter. I thought maybe he'd get to like 12-4 before having a 50% win rate in the UFC. Or sorry, like record-wise in your professional career. It's just a little, ugh. He's a lot bigger than I thought he was going to be out there, to be fair. But man, at flyweight, you're getting, like... I don't like in flyweight getting subbed, and he got hurt really early to the body. I get it, flyweights are all chinny, but it's rough, man. Carlos Hernandez just had a really shit performance. Like, a really shit performance. He had, like, virtually no success, and instantly got taken down. Yeah, Carlos Hernandez kind of shit the bed. Yeah, there's a reason why Park was the fucking favorite, but... Carlos Hernandez, just back into the fade fucking lobby you go, alright? Little unfortunate for Carlos Hernandez. I like the guy, I like the kid, he does well, he's a grinder, but unfortunately, he's in the fades. He's in the fade category for me from now on. He's in the 50-50 bin with the Charles Radkes. Unfortunately, just can't trust him to win a fight now. Moving on, Elise Reed versus Denise Gomes. Don't care, coin got it right, I think it picked Denise Gomes. The coin got the first one wrong. I think it picked Luana Pinheiro. Don't care. It's a women's fight. I used the tried and true method coin. Blah, 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 blah. Don't give a fuck. I just dropped my coin. Anyways, moving on to real fights. Yadir Del Valle versus Connor Matthews. I went with Connor Matthews. Okay. Did not do well here. Holy shit, man. Yeah, I went with Connor Matthews, because I thought Connor Matthews was a lot better than his record shows, and he is. Okay, he is. But this Diwali guy, hey guys, he's real good, If you don't know, I don't look up these fucking dumbass, debuts from buttfuck Idaho, I don't care, but I should have known, who is going to win based just off the facial features of one of them in today's day and age. But, yeah, Del Valle went in, and he did what he needed to do. He definitely went in with, like, I'm going to finish this guy in round 1. Like, that was the vibe, the whole fight. Every single time he threw, he was trying to take Conor's head off. And you can tell very easily. And then Conor just gets... I think he got taken down against the fence. And then Del Valle just went straight to the submission, locked it in. And Conor Matthews gets rear naked choked, you know? Conor Matthews, another one of these 50-50 fighters. Put him in the bin, alright? That's going to be the whole fucking narrative of this card. Pretty much everyone in here was a 50-50 fighter, but... yeah, Conor Matthews, it sucks to suck. You know, it does. I just don't think he's UFC... like, I get it. Del Valle is, like, good, unbeaten prospect. This was a rough fight for Conor Matthews. But... if he loses his next ones, he's 7-5. I think what, like 0-3, 1-3 in the UFC, something like that. 1-4. It's just not looking good for Conor Matthews. You know, they might have to cut him. It sucks. I think he's still young, but it's just, man, there's a lot of shit comp in the UFC right now. I think we need to start getting rid of some of it. All right, you know. But yeah, moving on. Jared Gordon versus Thiago Moises. Del Valle also looked good. I'm just going to say that. Del Valle looked really, really good. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick this guy in every fight, but he looks like he beats the bums of the division, you know? Like... like a Sean Woodson would be his cap out. He probably wouldn't beat like a guy like Danny Ige, who's like an unranked featherweight. These are tough. Who's the guy who got finished by by Gene Silva, was it? I can't remember his name. He's a kickboxer. Whoever that guy is. I think his record's like 8-4, 8-5 now. That guy's a good kickboxer. The Valle looked like he'd probably maul him in this performance. I know it's a round 1, but great performance, you know? So excited to see what happens with this guy. Yeah, moving on. Jared Gordon versus Thiago Moises. Now, I went with Thiago Moises. I thought just being young and in the UFC for so long, like, you know, this could be a Charles Oliveira moment. This could be a fucking Renato Moicano moment, Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. Just guys who've been around forever, winning and losing and winning and losing. Thiago's just not good anywhere, you know? Like, he's good, but he's not, like, ranked UFC level good ever, apparently, you know? I think he's close to his prime at, like, 30, 31, and Jared Gordon whooped his... to be fair, no, he did whoop his ass, alright? I'm gonna say it, because round 1, listen, I don't hate Jared Gordon. I like Jared Gordon. I just think he's kind of low IQ in some moments, and it's very easy to, like, win rounds over him because he won't do enough in rounds. And it was kind of looking like that was going to happen because Jared Gordon, you know, Thiago went for a leg kick, got taken down very easily by Jared fucking Gordon, and Jared was just laying on top of him for a little bit. I don't know how, but Jared Gordon got cut on his forehead. No idea how. I guess the scar tissue just came out at a 36-year-old man. So, I mean, it happens. And then he gets up, and it looks like a momentum shift, and it's like, oh my god, Moises is, like, cooking right now. You know, he's snapping, he's popping, and then, out of nowhere, he just goes for the most telegraphed jab, doesn't guard his chin, and gets slept, like, slumped out cold. Jared Gordon's good, but he's not that, like, he shouldn't be finishing you in your prime of 31 when your record is against guys like fucking Islam, fucking Benoit Saint Denis. Like, Moises' record is a lot better on names than his skill set is, you know? And just being in there with them, like Benoit, Islam, like, fuck, I can't even remember. There's a lot of, like, good names. Like, I think Ludovic Klein's in there. You know, there's a lot of really good names Moises has on his record. The way he fights is, like, he's got no chin for his pea head. He looks like a shit Ian Gary. Like, if Ian Gary had zero talent, no height, and was, like, the same size as everyone in the division, that's who Moises looks like out there. You know? Very telegraphed shit. You're getting taken down within the first minute. You know? And Moises is, like, the grappler dude. You know? Like, what are we doing, man? But yeah, he gets slumped out cold. Very shitty performance from Moises. Just another 50-50 fighter. Yeah. I mean, congrats for Jared Gordon, though. Hey, respect for Jared Gordon. Justice for what happened to him during the Patty fight. He deserves that win. The no contest on Bobby Green is bullshit. Should have been either overturned to a Bobby Green loss because of the headbutt, or it should have been, like, point deduced, whatever. But it didn't end up happening, and it was a no contest. So, yeah, I think Jared, I respect Jared Gordon. He's a good guy. Built like a white ape. And yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with him next. He could be like the next Bobby Green, because Bobby Green's kind of done. Jared Gordon's kind of good with the hands. His wrestling's kind of okay. He is kind of dumb enough to just, like, stand in the pocket with someone. Bro, Jared Gordon, Drew Dober, anyone? Anyone? Doesn't sound too bad. You know? Jared Gordon, Benoit Saint Denis. Doesn't sound too bad. You know? I don't mind these matchups. I don't mind these matchups for Jared Gordon. I think they could be interesting. You know? So it'll be fun to watch a Jared Gordon fight, you know? Thiago Moises, I think it's going to be boring to watch, and now he's just nobody. He's literally just an unranked bum. Another 50-50 fighter. Get him out of here, you know? I'm just fucking disappointed with this guy. Anyways, moving on. He normally has such good kicks, and he fumbled the kicks so fast. Like, ooh. Anyways, moving on. Gabe Green versus Mateo Camilo. Hey. That's right. I picked Gabe Green. I know everyone. I know 99% of UFC watchers picked fucking Camilo. All right, at that minus 200 line. Okay, I see you. Hey, who's laughing now? Hey, Gabe Green's era. All right. How good is Brian Battle, guys? You know, Brian Battle smoked this kid in 10 seconds. Okay. Not even the great Mateus Camilo could do shit to this guy. All right. Round one was a little rocky. Not gonna lie. Gabe Green kind of struggled a little bit. He looked snappy, though. He looked build. Like, he looked a 1% body fatter in fucking lightweight, alright? This guy, former welterweight, if you don't know, alright? Some people say he was flabby. Some people say he was filled in. I am on the filled in team. I thought he was filled in at welterweight. I didn't understand how he could fill in anymore. He looks like he'll never look like that again. You know? That physique was insane. You could see every single vein and muscle fiber on his body. And he looked massive. Like, he looked fucking colossal next to this guy, Camilo. Camilo's just not that good. I think this is another debut. Don't care. Didn't watch any of his fights beforehand. Was it a debut? Yeah. Yeah, it was a debut, right? Right? It was a debut? Right? Yeah, it was a debut. Thank fuck. I don't care about these debut fighters at all. But yeah, Gabe Green got to the back in round one, little rocky. You know, Gabe Green got his back taken a few times. Camilo was getting close to some submissions. Threw up, I think, a triangle. Wasn't in. Gabe Green snuck his big ass fucking Megamind head out of there, and Camilo kind of just gassed out right after that. And then in round two, like, I get why he gassed out, but come on, brother. And then in round two, Gabe Green started pouring it on very early. It was having some very early success. About halfway through the round, like, you know, after a minute, or a little after a minute, I should say, Camilo was having a little bit of success. You know, they got to the ground. Gabe Green ended up getting the takedowns. He ended up getting the, what's it called? He ended up getting the back, basically flattened this kid out, and then fucking got that submission, locked it right in, had Camilo tapping. So, hey, Gabe Green got it right, baby. That's what I'm talking about, you know? That's what I'm talking about. You know, how good is Brian Battle, guys? Future champ or what, alright? Welterweight is about to get dominated by Brian Battle. They ain't ready for the next welterweight goat. I'm just saying. Okay, guys? Anyways, moving on to the main... Holy shit, that... We're already at the main card. Oh my god, man. This card was so ass. Julian Arosa versus Melquez Acosta. Okay. This was a good fight. This fight of the year contender, maybe. Okay. This was the best fight on the card. Not even close. Great fight. Absolute banger. This is like a Daniel Zell, Hubert Esteban Ribovic tier, but it was a young prospect against like an older veteran. This fight was sick. Round one. Okay, real quick. I picked Arosa. Okay, I thought Arosa was going to get a gilly off Melquez Acosta shooting an awkward takedown. After having a lot of success and wanting to grapple a little bit. Round one, I thought was pretty close, but overall, Julian Arosa was just like fucking eating shots straight to the dome. And he would crack Costa here and there, but he wouldn't like wobble Costa. He'd crack him and be like, oh shit, I need to be careful. But he wouldn't like wobble him to the point where it's like his knees are going. Where Arosa was like pressuring forward. There was a moment where I thought he got dropped. But I don't think he did. It was kind of just like a weird like knee situation where he went down on one knee on a takedown. The hands got fucking stuffed instantly. Like, Arosa was never getting a takedown on Acosta. It just wasn't going to happen. And then there was one good entry that Julian had. I can't remember if it was the first or second. But he ended up getting Costa down. But it was like a takedown where Costa was fine with going down. Because he was trying to go for a gilly. Didn't really work out. Because Julian Arosa just like knew angles. And he was just able to survive it. There was moments where they were clinching, but round 2 and round 3 was Julian Arosa. I don't know what happened. At the ripe old age of 35 years old, this guy grew Marvin Vettori levels of chin, and he just ran into sledgehammer shots. All right? Costa does hit fairly hard. All right? Especially at featherweight, he hits fairly hard. And Arosa was just walking into shots. Like, he would get stung, and he's just like, what? And fucking charge forward. It was crazy shit to see, I picked Arosa. I didn't think Arosa was going to eat all that. I thought Arosa, if he was getting hit by, like, a big shot, he would have got fucking slept, all right? At 35 years old, being a little bit of a grappler, last performance looking like shit in terms of hand speed. Hand speed, he's still kind of slow, and it was a good fucking scrap. It was a great scrap. Round 3, I shit you not, I was on a Discord call with my boys, and I was literally like, bro, I don't know how this fucking 35-year-old's still standing. We were a minute into the round, and I was like, there's no way this fight goes another 4 minutes. And Arosa bit down, and I literally, for 4 minutes straight, was just charging forward into strikes, getting hit, throwing back, throwing his own fucking not really combinations, but like he'd throw like a right or a left hand into a spinning back fist, into a fucking knee. Bro, there was times where every time Costa would like dip his head, Arosa, Julian was literally landing a fucking clean knee. Now it wasn't full effort knee, but he'd land fucking good shots on Costa, and Costa just ate it, So I have a new respect for Costa here, and a new respect for Julian. I think both these guys are really fucking good. But I'm not seeing championship level from Costa yet. Really good fight, though, and he might be entering, like, the Phoenix era, where he's going on a fucking killing spree, especially because he's been so active. Like, it's kind of crazy to think that he went that fight with, like, very little damage, Arosa got cut here and there, but not really anything major. But yeah, man, this fight was sick. I was really happy with this fight. This was a fight that I was excited for. This was by far the most entertaining fight on the card. Honestly, every fight after this and before this was pretty dog shit. Moving on to Dustin Stoltzfus versus Nursultan Ruziboev. I picked Ruziboev, got it right, fucking finally got it right. Stoltzfus this was kind of how I thought it was going to go. I thought Stoltzfus was going to have some good levels of success, but overall I thought he was going to get outworked. Ruziboev is really good, but he's like the Ikrams, where they make mistakes, and they make his opponent, they sometimes will just make his opponent look really, really good when they're not, like, his level. You know what I mean? Like, Ruzeboev, Ikram, Tagir, like, these guys are all guys that will get randomly tagged out of nowhere, or just randomly subbed out of nowhere after, like, a sloppy takedown or getting gassed out, you know? Like, these are the type of vibes I see with their performances. However, Stoltzfus looked really good, you know? Decent level chin, got wobbled a few times. Round 1, he had a lot of success. Some people said he dropped him with a headbutt. I didn't really see the headbutt, so I'm going to say he dropped him. All right. But maybe it was a headbutt. Who cares? But yeah, Ruzeboev got dropped. And then when he was dropped, it looked like Stoltzfus was about to fucking whoop this kid. And then he goes on top, pulls ghillie. Not the smartest idea for Stoltzfus. Kind of looked like he gassed out his arms. And then he goes for another ghillie attempt, and he just doesn't have the angles to squeeze. Ruzeboev lays him out. And then it's kind of like a boring round. Round 2 starts up. Ruzeboev had, like, I think, a pretty not great optic-wise first couple minutes of every round. But round 2, it looked like Stoltzfus was kind of heating up again. And then it was, like, kind of a hug fest. And then a takedown was done by, I think it was Ruzeboev, laid on top. And then Stoltzfus, I think, reversed it and was on top for a bit. Like 2 minutes. And was literally just on top laying on him. Boring as shit. But yeah, I thought it was pretty close. I think round 1 was more of a Stoltzfus round than round 2. But you could have given either or to each fighter depending on how you want to score it. If you want to respect the damage of the knockdown, even if it was a headbutt, they didn't call, like, time or whatever, so you have to take that into account. So when judges are watching it, they're probably scoring it as a knockdown. And then the 2 really, really good sub attempts, but, like, they just weren't in fully. They didn't have the really good angle. He actually had 2 sub attempts. I was just going up based off of round 1. That's kind of wild. Hey, you know, I pay attention during fights. Okay, guys? But, yeah, and then round 2, Stoltzfus was winning the control time battle, but he didn't really have the bigger moments. So it's kind of like, if you score damage, then you go round 1 for Stoltzfus. But if you score control time over damage, then you go round 2. It's kind of like you score it 1-1 either way. And then round 3, I thought was a clear Ruzeboev round, even though it was looking like if this went to round 4 or 5, he was cooked. And Stoltzfus is known for gassing out. Ruzeboev was shocked. That guy was not ready. All right, he needed a fucking breather. Yeah, there's moments where it's just like he was throwing, and it's like one of those, like, you're throwing to make your coaches happy, you know? Because, like, you're throwing, and it's just like, oh, he's still throwing. And then your coach walks by, and he's like, what the fuck is that? Come on, clean it up, brother. You know? Like, a little disappointed from Ruzeboev. Should have been a little bit more of a masterclass if Ruzeboev is this next middleweight guy. Called out Bo Nickel. I like that fight. I do like that fight. Don't know who I'd pick, alright? Bo Nickel's still a ginger, guys. So we gotta remember. People forget, man. Bo Nickel is still a ginger. But Ruzeboev does win 29-28 clear. There was a 30-27 there. Whoever that ref is, fire him. He's just racist. But yeah, moving on to Sadiq Yusuff, Mayran Santos. I went with Sadiq. I don't know how the fuck you show up in shape at a 10 weight division higher. Okay? 10 pounds heavier than your normal weight division. You're in shape. And you get whooped by a fat fuck. Like a fat Sean Woodson. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, how do you come in looking like you're an athlete and your opponent looks like he just got off the couch after eating a bag of chips and you have that performance? And listen, man, I like Sadiq. I respect him for getting that 300k bonus, I think it was, for UFC 300. But, like, what the fuck are we doing, man? You know, this was literally a masterclass from Mayran Santos. And I don't rate Mayran Santos, but he masterclassed Sadiq. You know, it was maybe close on these numbers. Sorry, almost masterclass. What I will say, for a masterclass, I think Mayran would have needed to double up the strikes. He did make some of the rounds look a little closer than they needed to be. Sadiq would try to go for a low kick early in round 1. It would not be successful, and it would get checked every single time. And then when he would go in for like an overhand right, which is pretty much all he attempted, he would get tagged by a jab. And now it's like, okay, well, you got no fucking chin, I guess. Mayrin, I don't think hits that hard. Sadiq just has no chin, you know? And then, I don't know how the fuck he whooped Edson so good in that fight, man. That was a good aged Edson. Anyways, he gets like tagged a few times with the jab. Nothing major. I don't think anything that damaging. But he was clearly like losing exchanges. He'd go for a low kick, it'd get checked. He'd go for an overhand, it'd miss, and then he'd get hit by a jab. He'd shoot a takedown. Mayrin's got the wrist control, and you're just fucked. Like, you're not getting, like, he literally could not get anything going. Not the leg kicks, not the striking, not the grappling. There was no win con for Sadiq. Round 2, same shit. He would do the same shit. Go for a leg kick. You know, hoo, 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 hoo. Someone tell Sadiq head movement isn't being scored, okay? Stop fucking... Brother, it's not being scored. No one cares how fast you're moving your fucking head, alright? If you're gonna look like you have pop, get in there and throw a fucking strike, alright? I'm so tired of these people who are down 2 rounds very clearly. Or at least their corner should be telling them they're down 2 rounds. And they're not being told, you need to finish in the 3rd, go in for the kill. And they don't go in for the kill. Like, what are we doing, man? You know, round 3 happens, and Sadiq just gets fucking outworked everywhere again by Mayrin Santos. Like, what the fuck? What was the plan, Sadiq? You know? I don't understand how this guy was ever ranked. Like, what the fuck? How is this guy in the same fucking fight as Edson Barbosa and Diego Lopez? Like, how is this guy even fucking going matched up against these guys? This guy's shit. This guy's another unranked 50-50 fighter. Get him out of here. Fucking... God damn, that was disappointing to watch. It's not disappointing just because I picked them. It's disappointing because you know you're losing. You know, like, by the end of the fight, you literally was like, well, I lost. Head down. Oh, yep, he won. Yeah, no shit. You didn't do shit. Like, you had no... Oh, it pisses me off, man. Like, I don't know what the game plan was, alright? But you needed a plan B, alright? If the kicks weren't gonna work, you needed to change up the stances. You needed to fucking start going to that frog body he had, you know? You needed to change up something, man. Like, you can't do the same shit 3 rounds. Oh, go for a takedown halfway through the round. Oh, it got stuffed. Well, I guess I'm back to kicking his legs again. Oh, he checks all my kicks. Well, I guess I'm gonna go for a looping overhand again. Like, brother, it literally looked like what happens when you're playing against someone and they just ran out of fucking buttons to use. You know? Like, you're playing fucking Rainbow Six Siege, and, like, they're going mute, you go Twitch, you shot all the mute jammers, and then you just fucking dome them because you have a drone on them. You know? Like, this was the type of performance. You know, you went Goyo, or sorry, you went Maestro, well, your opponent went fucking Brava. Hacked all your fucking cams and killed you with your own cam. You know? It's like, Jesus Christ, what are we doing, man? Figure it out. Like, you're in your prime in the UFC. Granted, 10 pounds up, but he looked filled in. Oh, it's just disappointing. Disappointing from Sadiq. Moving on to the most entertaining fight. Paul Craig versus Rodolfo Bellato. Paul Craig whooped this guy's ass. Sent him back to fucking Italy, where he belongs. Alright, back in the bakery. Okay. Bellato's going back to making pizzas from what Paul Craig just fucking did to him. Alright? You guys didn't see the fight, probably. It was a premium fight that you had to see on, ESPN Premium Plus. It's only for the people who make predictions, okay, on fights. Unfortunately, you guys couldn't see it. No, this fight got canceled the last minute. Literally, main card gets announced. I think we got past Julian Erosa. Might have been after the Dustin fight. 2-3 fights before the fight was about to happen, Bellato pulls out. What the fuck are we doing? UFC, your co-main event. No backups. What the actual fuck are we doing? Bellato shows up. He's in the place. Looks healthy. What did he pull out from? Shitting his pants too much? Was he that intimidated by Scotland? I don't even think I'm Scottish, but I am ginger, so it comes from somewhere. Is he fucking terrified of Paul Craig? I mean, listen, guys, you know, I'm just saying, alright? Paul Craig wins the rematch on Bo Nickel, okay? I thought he did beat Bo Nickel, but yeah, it's a little disappointing to see. I'm just being honest. Like, what the fuck are we doing as a sport? The co-main event gets called off 2 fights before it happens. Are we serious? Is the UFC the best fucking fight organization in the world, or is it fucking, you know, some of these other, like PFL, fucking, well, One Champion, these other fighting organizations, they have a real chance to take over the UFC in the next couple of years. And I say next couple of years, like 5 to 10, okay? Don't get it twisted, alright? They still need names, but, man, it's just disappointing. Like, there should have been way more prep time from the UFC part, and also, Bellato, what are we doing? Why are you pulling out against Paul fucking Craig? Okay? Listen, I picked Paul Craig. Alright? 10 toes down. Okay? But even I was worried Paul Craig might get chinned in the first round. That's, like, oh man, these fighters, I just want to strangle some of them. You know? And to any Canadian fighters, you know, just saying, please don't KO me in public, alright? I enjoy having my chin. I am ginger, so that means I am chinny, okay? I know the genetic debuffs, okay? So please don't KO me in public. Any of these fighters, not just Canadian, just saying. You know, this is all a character, but yeah, I'm just disappointed. Like, what the fuck are we doing as the UFC? Anyways, moving on to the main event. I'm just sad. I'm just sad, man. I picked Mayer and Santos, so I think I'm, what, like 4-11? 4-11, whoa. 4 out of 11, so what would that be, 4-6? No, 4-7 on the whole card? No, wait, I picked this one right, so 5-6. Damn, I was off by 1. That sucks. Yeah, 5-6 on the whole card, I believe. My thing will be up on the top, probably right now, my whole record, but yeah, I picked Mayer and Santos. I just thought younger, younger, less damage. I thought Gilbert Burns, he just doesn't have the same drive anymore. I think this was gonna be his retirement fight. It should be his retirement fight after that performance. I'm just sad, man. Like, I am. You know, Michael Morales gets a first round KO. You know, it's not a flatline KO. It just looked like Gilbert Burns quit. And I get it, man. I get it. You've been fighting for so long. You're on a 4-fight losing streak. This is like the last one. And they give you an unbeaten prospect in Michael Morales. I 100% get it. But it's just like, if that's the type of performance you're having, retire. I didn't watch the post-fight speech shit, because I'm doing this video, obviously. Just retire, man. Like, seriously. You know? And I don't mean that in, like, a negative way, okay? I have nothing but respect. I do think Gilbert Burns is an underrated fighter. I do think skill for skill, he's really, really good. He'll always be known for the guy who, like, could have beat Hamzat, technically. You know, on paper, might have beat Hamzat. You know, he challenged for the belt, but it's just, like, the Gilbert is over. You know what I mean? It's sad to see. I love him. I love his fights. I'm not gay, but, no, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, I have nothing but respect for Gilbert, you know? It's sad to see. It's really sad, but that first couple exchanges, Gilbert Burns, he's on the back foot. He goes to the cage, starts throwing back, smiles. And then, right afterwards, Michael Morales lands a few shots over the top. Looks like he was on the guard of Gilbert Burns. It might not have been, to be fair. And Gilbert Burns just sort of covered up. Got to one knee. Went for an ankle. Lifted Michael Morales over his fucking head. And then got back to space. Morales did the same combo. And then Gilbert Burns just quit against the cage. Like, it sucks to see. Like, he quit. He went down to the ground. It sucks, man. It really does. But this is part of being a fan of the sport, you know? You gotta take the good with the bad. And sometimes you see a great fighter, an entertainer, in Gilbert Burns. just look like that. You know, sometimes Edson Barbosa, he just sits there and gets out jabbed for 5 rounds. You know, sometimes Gilbert Burns, he just gets finished in the first round via quitting. You know, it really does suck, but I love this sport. I'll still be doing predictions. We have a week off, so I'm going to be enjoying it. I'm probably going to cook up something this week for videos, but, you know, stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. I want to thank you all for making it to the end of this video. And as always, I hope you have a good day.